Hello, I'm Ham Clark, and welcome to the Leadership Program for the Academy of International School Heads. And today, I'm here with Paul Richards, who has been an international school head for the last 10 or so years. And we're going to talk together about some of the issues that we face in the head business. So Paul, I'd love to learn more about your thoughts on professional accountability, and we'll get to that shortly. So now, Paul, I want to transition to talk about your specific area of expertise in professional accountability, which is one of our 6 leadership standards. As you started work on this online course, and I know you've been working hard at this, and thinking about this particular topic, was there a story or a learning moment that came to mind that said, oh golly, this is why we need this course? There's something that you were thinking about that kind of motivated you as you developed the course?
You know, Ham, it's a good question. I'd like to think that I can live my life and just have epiphanies and save myself a lot of trouble. It just hasn't worked out that way. So in this case, it's more of a slow burn of just watching my own fatigue and stress levels, watching those of the people around me who work so hard every day. And it's not just the administrators, teachers working so hard and students working hard. And just trying to think, you come in the morning, you work hard, it's almost like you're on the hamster wheel, and then at some point you quit the day and you go home. And then you do more stuff at home. So just over time thinking there must be a better way, and really believing that you shouldn't have to sacrifice health for success, or you shouldn't have to sacrifice happiness for success. So you can have health, happiness, and success at school, at work, with some more intentionality, with some more assertiveness in your role as head of school. So it was a slow build, and when I finally just said, enough's enough, I think there's a better way, I started experimenting with some techniques. Some worked, many did not. And I got to the point where I felt there might be some value in this, of helping others explore the barriers that might get in the way of us doing the type of work that we've been hired to do, and not all the other stuff that's mind-numbing and in some cases just destroys the soul.
Sure. No, it's interesting, and I know your course, as people get into it, they're going to learn about your thoughts about email and schedule, managing your time. One of the things that of course, is you start out as a new head, there are these things on your calendar, nothing that you've put there, but these things other people have put there. So how did you begin to go about recognizing the importance of actually taking a role and creating your own schedule?
So it's, I think pretty early on I realized I didn't have control over a lot, and you're right, things get foisted upon you, and every day is going to be different. But I felt I could have some semblance of control over time, where I spent it, what I was doing, whether I was spending time with someone else or not, and who that was, and what the work we were actually doing. So I started really thinking about this concept of assertiveness and building space within my day to do the real important work. So really just went through an experimentation process. So had a mentor who said, Paul, you need to be assertive when it comes to your calendar. If there's something you really want to do, put it in your calendar. So if you need to write that newsletter, put it in your calendar. Sure. As an event. If you feel you need to take a walk, put it in your calendar as an event, to create those structures. And then my own just relationship with email over the years, and my frustration with its lack of utility when it comes to the more important stuff, problem solving, the emotions, things like that. I just felt that was really destroying the kind of collaborative culture that schools need to be excellent. So just trying trial and error, and looking at things I could control, and letting go of some things I can't. I can't control a parent coming in and being upset and wanting to meet with me.
Sure.
But I can. There's a lot more under your control than you think you have.
How about the balance, Paul, between being assertive with your schedule, keeping your plan in place, and leading from the heart, which is that
Yeah.
thing that happens, that emergency, that parent that really needs an answer about something.
No, it's a really important point, Ham. You can't just disappear. That's not going to serve you well.
Showing up is maybe the most important thing
Yes.
we do.
So, but you condition the people around you to know a few things about you. So people in my community know that I'm not going to be checking email. In fact, if someone sends me an email, it's going to go to my PA, who will read it and then maybe respond to it, or we have a whole system which you'll learn in this
Right.
course. But you also let people know that if you need me, no matter when it is, middle of the night, you're having a crisis, whatever it is, you can call me. And here's my mobile. So my mobile is not a secret, even in the community. You can always get a hold of me if you absolutely need to. And that, I think, generates trust as well. And then, but you say, I'd like you to respect that I don't do a lot on email at all. I have a certain flow to my calendar. You can have a meeting, but it might be, the next day, it might be later in the week. But
Sure.
if it is a crisis, if it's a student who's upset, a teacher, whomever, I will stop what I'm doing and I will meet with that person.
Right.
So you have to be available, but you can also set a few ground rules for the 99% of it.
The less
that is
crucial.
routine,
Yeah.
less urgent, and you're the head of school. You should set the conditions. You can set some of the rules.
Yeah. All right, Paul, as you started work on this whole professional accountability course, as you were beginning to tackle this, was there a particular unhappy moment, a particular challenge that you had to face that kind of came to mind related to this? And how did you handle that, and what, in retrospect, might you have done differently, if you can talk about a particular case?
Boy, good question. I think even though I've been a head of school for many years and a principal before that, a teacher before that, there are just some things that constantly eat away at you. And one for me is just finding a lack of time to do things. So we generate these to-do lists, but we have very little time to actually do them. And I was getting a bit tired of devoting nights and weekends and holidays to catch up. And just by chance, I read a book called Rest, which studied the highly creative people and how they use their time and what the commonalities were. And what this researcher found was that highly creative people tend to get their work done through sustained focus, but also at the first half of the day. So by the time they get to about lunchtime, they're done, and they're just devoting the rest of their time to reading and resting and exercising, things like that. So the epiphany for me was, I need to set up my calendar so that I can start my day with that think time, with the writing, the doing time. So I built that into the calendar, a little bit of an experiment, but it's worked really well, and occasionally it gets disrupted. So I wouldn't say it's an incident. It is a moment where you say, I just am going to try something. I'm going to be bold and try something different for me, see how it works. If it doesn't work, if it's the worst idea ever, you can abandon it and try something new.
So it was almost like just having experienced this and realizing the lack of fulfillment you're getting from your day, that you've got to organize it in a different way.
You do, and I think we all have these issues these questions that we're trying to solve and find answers to. And if you go out there and you're looking for answers, you're listening and you're trying new things, you can surprise yourself sometimes with where the answers might be and what works. So this course that we've developed is all about putting ideas and strategies into action to make an impact.
Great.